Good evening, everyone. Chief Meteorologist James Zahara here in the Storm Track 8 Weather Center. Glad you can join us on the News 8 Plus app, where we're going to be kind of talking about this snow that still continues across some of our hometowns. Talk about what the outcome is going to be as we head overnight. And of course, we've got some more additional snow to talk about and some serious cold that we're going to have to be dealing with as well. So there's a lot of winter headlines going on, starting off with the snowfall. Let's show you some of the reports that I got here. This is just a small handful, and I even put this on my Facebook page as well. And if you have any snowfall reports you'd like to mention to me, please go and do so. We can go ahead and get this updated, and eventually meteorologist Andrew Stusky will be able to update those numbers on Good Morning Quad Cities. And there may be one or two of those in there where the reports are a bit old, because if some of you are in some places like, let's say, for example, around Cambridge, where last reported was 1.5 inches, you're going to probably say, well, there's a little bit more out there. And you know what? You're right. So hopefully we'll get these some of these numbers updated, but most of them are pretty well updated as of 6:30. Loudon, of course, the big winner with over 10 inches of snow. Loudon is located up in Cedar County. Then you got Maquoketa, it's about 7.5 inches. Galena at 6. Savannah matching that same number, even around Clinton and Muscatine. Kind of interesting that we're noticing here is anywhere right along Highway 30. That is actually located north of the Quad Cities. Anywhere along and pretty much north and west of that, you had snowfall amounts ranging from 5 to even 10 inches of snow. When you get around the immediate Quad Cities, I-80 and then points southward, well, unfortunately, right around lunchtime, we had like several hours of snow-free conditions. And this is now an area where we've only had about 1 to as high as 3.5 inches of snow. Okay, so we are dealing with some of that snow out there in some of our hometowns. But let's get some eyes out there and kind of show you some of that snow that is still taking place. This is from our Beast, of course, our storm chasing vehicle. And refresh my memory, I just heard it. Can you tell me where the Beast is located again? Did I say anything? Okay. I think I know where that is. That is actually in downtown Moline. Right there. And yes, the snow continues, and you can see the roadway still a little bit snow covered in some areas. People are taking it slow, and that is actually a good thing indeed. Let's go and actually go back to the graphic system. I got the Bridgepoint camera up, and visibility not too bad, but take a look at the traffic. Take a look how slow the cars are moving. Yeah, and we're seeing that just about everywhere across our hometowns. This is in downtown Davenport. Of course, not much going on. I think everyone's kind of hunkering down given the conditions out there, but a lot of slush has been noticed around downtown Davenport. And then finally we go to Rock Falls. That's in northeastern Whiteside County. That's the downtown. And yeah, the snow continues to fall there. Had reports of about 3.5 inches of snow that is taking place in Rock Falls. That's, of course, an old report. Hopefully we'll get that updated as we head overnight as well. Let's go and take a look at the all-important radar. And you can see what we had just after lunchtime in areas around the Quad Cities and point southward. There's that gap. It was a dry slot of air that actually developed in Missouri around mid-morning. And we thought, that's going to be a concern, because that may actually cut down some of the snow totals from the Quad Cities and point southward, maybe at least a couple of inches or so. So if we had that, we would very likely be talking about snowfall amounts in the immediate Quad Cities around 5 or even 6 inches of snow. But as you can see also, we kind of filled that up with more of those snow showers across the area. As we made our way to the late afternoon and early evening, we were kind of predicting we would see that snow start picking up again during that time period. And the tail end of that now is located just around the Quad Cities. So I would say, given that pile that we see right there, we probably have another, I would say, hour and a half, couple of hours to go, and then all that snow will very likely be coming to an end. The only concern that we have with this dry, fluffy snow that is actually on the ground is that it may be blowing, and even in some rural areas, even drifting as well. Because as the system pulls away, there's a lot of wind that's coming in behind it. This is our latest wind speed tracker. We've had wind speeds throughout most of the day under 10 miles an hour, but you can see how those Wind speeds are starting to pick up. We actually had, about 15 minutes ago, had some wind gusts actually over 25 miles an hour. So there still could be some chances of visibility dropping, especially in those rural areas. What a difference from our newscast at 6 o'clock, because on our road condition map here, on the Illinois side, most of it was blue. Now it's back to red again, or pink in this matter, and that means that all the roadways you can see here are pretty much 100% snow covered, especially on those passing lanes, okay? So this is where got to be extra cautious as we make our way maybe right through midnight or so. Hopefully the plows out and about through the overnight hours, and before our Good Morning Quad City show, we see a lot more blue, but more importantly, even green out there heading off to work or school come tomorrow morning. And we are promising some pretty cold air coming in from the departure of this snow. Right now we're seeing temperatures in the teens, right around 20 degrees or so. And I expect these numbers to fall pretty quickly, especially as those skies begin to improve. And we could be seeing that, folks, sometime just before daybreak. Once we get that blanket of clouds out of here, I think we're going to see a pretty good plunge in temperatures. How cold are we looking at? Yeah, it could be as cold as single digits out there, and you factor in those wind chills. I think by daybreak tomorrow, I think just about all of us will be seeing wind chills in the minus single digits, maybe a little bit colder in areas just to our north. Of course, that takes us to Thursday. Don't have to worry about any snow, just a lot of sunshine. The only catch here is, and this has been rare for us this season, is that we got a fresh snow-covered ground out there. And even with all that sun, it's not going to help in those temperatures. Numbers only will be in the low to mid-teens, upper teens maybe farther south. You factor in the winds, and that wind chill at best will take place in the afternoon, and only getting in the single digits really for most of our hometowns. But we stayed quiet, and that will continue on for the first half of the day on Friday. After that, yeah, we got another round of some snow on the way. And I think it may be coming in two stages, one by Friday night and another one that may be developing, especially in the midday or afternoon hours on Saturday. Given those temperatures that we're seeing, this is going to be not a dry snow, but more of a wet, compact snow. And then as that system blows on by, here comes some serious cold air, especially as we head toward late Sunday night, going into Monday morning, where we may be talking about some wind chills as cold as 20 to 25 degrees below zero. Let's talk about this next snow that is on the way going into the upcoming weekend. And I have it set up with a probability of 3 inches or more of snowfall, okay? And I've got two computer forecast models to kind of verify that. This is very much similar to what I used when it comes to this system that is upon us right now. But you can see where areas just north and west of the Quad Cities going into Waterloo, that's pretty much a guarantee that we could be seeing 3 or more inches of snow, okay, from these two waves that are coming in Friday night, another one developing on Saturday. Then around the Quad Cities, it's very likely could see 3 inches or more, and then just a possibility as you get to Highway 34 and point southward. Now here is model number 2, okay? Not much of a change. We are guaranteeing some 3 inches plus snow just north and west of the Quad Cities from Iowa City, just near Galena, going into Rockford, and then still likely for really the rest of our hometowns until you get south of Highway 34, heading down to Quincy and Champaign, where it's just right now is a possibility. But what I always like to say is it all depends on the track. Okay, it's such a key thing as to how much, where the main snow axis is actually going to fall. So that is really the big key when it comes to this type of an event that may be taking place here. One last map I want to show you, and then we're going to go back to checking out the cameras once again, is our 8-day tracker. Once again, you can check this out on our webpage at WQAD.com. And you can see that one weather impact alert for Friday going to all of Saturday. And then we get a break on Sunday, but turning really cold. And then we could be seeing some snow showers later in the day on Monday. Too early to say that could give us some accumulation, but it's going to be coming in with the help of some pretty cold air as we get to Monday morning. Overnight lows will be definitely below zero, but this is where we're talking about those winds that may be gusting around 20 miles an hour or so, and it won't take much to drop those wind chills as cold as 20 or even 25 degrees below zero. And with that fresh snow-covered ground, it's going to stay pretty cold as we make our way pretty much in all of next week, I would say. This is our 14-day tracker, exclusive here at News 8. You can see how temperatures, though, really won't rebound until we get to maybe the following weekend or so when we actually get those readings in the 30s across the board. So that is kind of the latest that I see here when it comes to the conditions that we've been noticing now and what we are predicted to see as we get into this upcoming weekend. Once again, we are making our way back on our storm-chasing vehicle, what we call the Beast, doing a little driving here and there, and I believe that's still right around the Moline area. I think that could be just south of the airport. And yeah, the snow is still coming down, no question about that. And we're seeing that right around the immediate Quad Cities and you can see how people are just taking it nice and slow. I mean, that road is pretty much snow covered, and we're seeing that on those secondary roadways. Keep in mind, too, that neighborhood streets are going to be a little bit of a challenge, especially if they haven't been plowed throughout the day or even this evening. So be aware about that. I don't believe we're going to have to worry about any major widespread school cancellations. We may be talking about maybe some delays, I think, maybe some 2-hour delays, given how cold the numbers will be, and especially for outlying areas where the snow has not been plowed. So certainly keep attuned to Good Morning Quad Cities on the bottom of your screen for any of those updates. But this is the latest that we see as far as the snow is concerned. We're right on the tail end of it. You can see that blotch is located right around the Quad Cities and points northward. A very steady snow that has been going on, especially along Highway 30 and points northward. Once again, we've been seeing reports around 5 to 10 inches of snow around the immediate Quad Cities and points southward. Reports have only been between 1 and 4 inches of snow. I think that's going to change once we get some new reports in. And once again, if you're watching us here on the News 8 Plus app, please make sure that if you have a chance to do any snow measurements outside, go to my Facebook page and please mark it down. And so we can get a good idea as exactly how much snow has really fallen across our viewing area, make the picture a little bit clearer as to the amounts of snow that has taken place across the area. Well, that's going to be it with me here, folks. But of course, we'll keep you updated again, any new developments that may be taking place when it comes to our weather, and also going to the weekend on 8-1. We'll have our newscast coming up at 10 o'clock. And once again, Good Morning Quad Cities at 4:30 to 7 with meteorologist Andrew Stesky. Take it easy out there, folks. Be careful, and we'll talk to you later.